sprawling gardens, spacious rooms with state-of-the-art interiors and a cozy couch, as well as a lovely pool. Those are all the right ingredients for the perfect family holiday in a villa. And we'll explore that at Homestays and Trails right here in North Goa. Well, I'm at the latest property in North Goa of Homestays with Puneet Chhatwal, Managing Director and CEO at Indian Hotels. And my first expression is wow, because this property is just breathtaking. Now, let's just talk about the overall concept, because the changing paradigm of the pandemic really put things into a new gear, with homestays gaining a lot of popularity. I just wanted to understand how Indian Hotels is looking to leverage this, given that it's such a nascent concept.
Well, I think the idea of homestay was born just a few months before the pandemic, and we thought we could become the internal aggregator for Tata Group companies, as they all had, coffee plantations, tea plantations in Munnar, in Chikmagalur, Jamshedpur, and you name it. And also Tata Consumer in Assam. And we thought, okay, let's do that. They were, struggling to keep them in a good shape. And they were also struggling with the expectations of everyone wanting to go and stay there. So that way they thought this gets a professional touch. And we thought maybe there is something which we can do again without any investment from our side, but just managing as a third party operator, and let's see how it evolves.
Yes, and that's something I want to touch upon as well, how you're leveraging the overall Tata Group, the brand of the Tata Group. So it's a win-win, right, for the homeowner as well as for the company. Just walk me through how it works.
As an example, we took over almost 10 bungalows of Tata Coffee. It was a loss-making business for them. Today they get a very healthy return, equivalent to maybe 5% of their incremental capital employed. We also put in some money on the renovations, and we also make some money. So it becomes a win-win. The homestays have turned out very beautiful because they're in an area like Chikmagalur. It can very easily be serviced by the Taj property in Kurg, and we don't need to put in a lot of staff for 4 or 5 rooms, villas, and the hotel manages it brilliantly. The same happened in Goa. So in Goa we are getting very close to maybe 15 or 20 bungalows at the end of this financial year.
Now let's talk about the game plan going forward, because you spoke about a number of properties in Goa. What is the plan to scale it up? 500 properties is
the guidance we have given is 500. We have reached a portfolio of 100. And I think the first 100 is more difficult. The rest just follows. The first 20, the first 50. And we have, of the 100, we have 55 in operation. Very soon it will be, before the end of this calendar year, before the, Christmas, New Year's time, I think we should be around 65, 70 homestays in operation.
Okay, I'm dying to explore this property further. So as I continue this interview, let's proceed forward. I'm actually quite tempted to put on my bathing suit, wear a hat and lounge by the pool. This property is lovely, but you were talking about the concept of homestays, and that's really picked up prominence. But there is also a lot of competition that exists because there are a number of players within this space. So I guess the differentiating factor, if I may even interject with the answer, would be the fact that there are already a lot of heritage properties of the Tata Group.
Firstly, there were properties within the system. Secondly, we have hotels and an infrastructure of the hotels to support them. Now, we are not doing a homestay which is maybe beyond 1 hour driving distance for a hotel general manager or the hotel's senior management team. And I think that makes this whole value proposition as an extension of our brandscape very interesting for us. So we are able to be in a segment without having this segment become capital or labor intensive. and at the same time keep the customer within our own ecosystem, not that when they want homestay, they go to another brand.
Right.
And when they want a hotel, then they come to us.
Why don't we explore the interiors as well as we continue the interview? Let's understand the financials as well behind it, because earlier as well we were talking about how the Chambers, Cumin, Ama, very high margin generating businesses. How does this contribute to the overall operational performance of the company?
Well, today this is again a very small business, but going forward, as we have said, all these businesses that you mentioned together with Ginger should become ideally 25 to 30% of our revenue, and Taj should always stay as the major contributor. So more than 50 should come from Taj, and within that traditional businesses, Vivanta, Selections, or any other brand that might come gives the additional 15 or 20%, and the remaining will come from these new businesses, which are small today, but you have to look at a business in 5-7 years from now, especially having lost the last 2 years due to COVID and the pandemic and mostly being a lockdown. But we are very pleased because our model is very good, with the exception of the 2 that we own, as I mentioned to you.
Right.
The rest is all third-party ownership, and we charge typically a percentage of top line, a high double-digit percentage of top line as the management fee, and another few percentage points as the marketing contribution. So there is the return as a percentage is very high, but in absolute terms is very low, because the size of the business with a 5-bedroom villa or a 4-bedroom villa, you need to have a scale of almost 500 in operation for it to become a meaningful business.
And let's talk about also it aiding the overall profitability, how you see these segments working.
In aiding the profitability, these new segments have really helped us quarter on quarter to add a few percentage points to our margin and margin enhancement. And that is one of the key reasons where we said how much of our margin expansion will come from the same store, how much will come through new businesses, mainly driven by management contracts, so exponential increase in management fees, which is a high margin business. Some people even call it the sweet spot of the hotel business. Then comes these new businesses. So when you add all of them and the repositioning of your existing portfolio too, in terms of asset management, and getting getting to a point where you manage your assets so efficiently, especially with us as a 120-year-old company, we have collected many things over so many years, and some are not relevant, like some of the flats which we sold because in the 70s it was important to offer a flat as an accommodation.
Right.
Today everyone wants to own their own.
Yes.
So I think some of these initiatives all put together are responsible that a company that was operating somewhere between 12 to 15% EBITDA margins has been able to double it, with the guidance that it has given is of a 2.5x of 33% at the end of 2025.
On that note then, thank you so much for giving us an insight into Ama Stays and Trails, and maybe now I can go and lounge by the pool since we're done with our interview. So thank you.
Have a nice time and a nice evening, and thank you for joining us.
I will. Thank you.